I believe this is called Yates Trail. We're leaving Cocoa, Florida area, headed north. So here in the next day, we're going to be going around Orlando. It's extremely foggy today and wet. I've already walked through some good water. Looks like it's going to be a wet day. Onward. Check for ticks. This is pretty jungly in here. Trying to get to Christmas, Florida in the next few hours. I have plenty of food already, so I probably don't need to resupply, but that's what that stop in Cocoa was about, which I'm glad I did. But I will charge my phone up if I can. Maybe see if there's some food I could have for lunch, like a burger or something I can grab quick, but so I don't use up my supply of food. We actually have a trail here. Kind of cool. All right, we're just about to leave the, all right, let me try and say this. Tosohatchee Creek. It's actually Tosohatchee wilderness area here, wildlife management, I think it is. What does this say? This is Wilhelmina Angel, outstanding environmental activist who love Tosohatchee. She maintained trails here from 81 to 17. If you see a perfect place in the trail, that was her work. Wow, that's cool. Staunch conservationist, a champion of wild places and the creatures that inhabit those places. Wilhelmina Angel, she must have passed away. Angel Bridge. That wasn't long ago, 2017. Well, thank you, Willie. Here we go, Angel Bridge over the creek. And I think we're almost out of this area here. Just don't drop your phone while you're trying to cross. It's a good little creek. You could definitely filter water out of here. It's a big old cypress. It's actually flowing over there if you see it. This would be a great place to get water. This is the first time I've seen a decent place to get water. First time. In Florida, in the South in general, when you see this brown, black water, it's either mud, like in the Mississippi, there's a lot of mud, there's other mud. But in these rivers, if you see over there, there's a white sandy bottom. Right over there. And that's where you can tell the water is not muddy. It is brown. It's a tea color. And it has what's called tannins in it, which is just the coloring of the leaves and wood debris that fall in it. Kind of give it a brown color. But it's not dirty. It's not dirty. It's not brown because it's dirty. It's just colored like tea. And you could probably drink right out of this, although I wouldn't. But with a water filter that gets out the bacteria and all the protozoa, there's really nothing that's going to hurt you. And if you see something moving like that, like flowing water, somewhere over there, I see it, yep. You know you got a pretty good spot. So I don't need water right now, so I'm gonna pass on it, but it's good to know we're getting into areas that at least have some, instead of dirty canals filled with treated sewage or you know, agriculture runoff, which has been the worst. All right, we're out of here. Next step here, after we get out of this Tosohatchee area, wildlife management area, I think it is, which is turning into this nice forested. I love this look of Florida right here. I don't like the swampy forest, but this stuff is really nice to hike through. I'm trying to pan slowly. We've had a comment or two. And they're right, it's hard to pan this phone and hold it while you're out of breath and want to get moving. But I try to slow down for you guys. So we're headed to the next step is Christmas, Florida. I think it's only about 2-3 miles up the road. Small little town. It's got a gas station and a couple gas stations, I guess. Just gonna run in there and try to charge the phone. Maybe get some water and a Gatorade. And I already had lunch, so I'm doing good. Not to spend too much time there. I've already pre-supplied everything, so I don't want to waste too much time walking into a town and walking out. Got to do 20 today to get to our camp. It's Fern Camp, I think it's called. It's 20 miles from where I started, so I'm about 12 in right now. It's doing good, man. I've finally getting to where I can do my daily plan, which is if the trail's decent and you can keep going at about 2.5 miles an hour, which is about this fast right here, approximately. You know, not running, not just walking, a little bit of pick up your pace, but not bad. This is doable all day. If you can do that 4 hours in the morning, that's 10. Take half an hour, even an hour for lunch if you wanted. So if you leave camp at 7, which is when I leave usually, 7 to 11 is 10 miles. Boom. Might stop somewhere in there for lunch or a little food break or something, but just a few minutes. Sit down 11 to 11:30, even 11 to 12. Back up at 12 and walk another 4 hours, and by 4 o'clock you've got 20 miles. Oh, I like this. This is fun here. It's a lot drier here than where we've been all day. You know, so by 4 o'clock, which still leaves you 2 full hours before sunset here. Sunset right now is about 6:10. So, you know, 6:20, something like that. So you got 2 hours even. If you got behind or you want to push on a little further, you can get over 20 miles. So 20 miles is starting to make a lot more, seem a lot more doable. I've done a couple 20s now. Body's not killing me, so it's gradually increasing, and I'm hoping in about a couple of weeks, by then I'll be doing 30s. And all you need to do that really is get up an hour earlier, right? Leave at 6, hike till 6, that's 12 hours, take an hour for lunch, that's 11. So you got a good 10 or 11 hours where you're hiking at 2.5, so you'll get at least 25, maybe 30 if you hike a little bit after dark. And what I've started to realize is the way you catch those miles is leave before dark, hike a little bit after dark. And that used to scare me, like, oh man, I'm not hiking after dark, that's crazy. Actually, there's nothing on this trail that can hurt you. I mean, you could fall, but I got a good headlamp, it's rechargeable. And what's the worst that could happen? Maybe a bear at night, but they're gonna see you coming with light. I haven't seen a bear on this trail. I haven't heard of a bear. I haven't heard of literally any animals except for the couple of snakes I've seen. You know, and they weren't, I mean, yeah, you had to move them off the road, but I mean, it's 300 miles. I've seen 2 snakes, that's it. One of them wasn't even on the trail. It was on a side road we were driving on. So yes, they could be here, but I'm not afraid to walk through this stuff in the dark anymore. It's funny how that changes. I'll tell you what changed me, big cypress. Walking on a grassy road like this with land underneath your feet, you know, instead of up to your knees in water, where anywhere right there could be a snake or a gator submerged in the water. You get over your fear pretty quick. I don't have any fear anymore out here at all. I wasn't afraid really before during the day, but I would always worry about bears at night and stuff. I don't even worry about that now. Doesn't mean I won't put my food in the bear bag. Doesn't mean I won't hang it properly, especially in Ocala. A couple places where bears have been a problem. But I don't think bears, and they're only black bears down here, are absolutely zero thing to be afraid of on this trail. All right, we're leaving Tosohatchee. Tosohatchee. Never heard of that name, although it sounds a lot like all of our native names around Florida. This guy. Not that guy. That is different. Nah, I don't know. That might be the one I saw. Definitely saw water moccasin twice. All right, guys. We're headed down there. I think this is the north gate coming up. Wow, that's a nice little, look at that. Pretty. That's a cool little walking trail. We just came out of that. That was a real nice walk that last 40 minutes. Prior to that, it was interesting, typical swampy Florida palm forest. This is the pine forest, as you can see. Really has a completely different change depending on the water. So you have your pine like this, and usually, I don't know if this is naturally occurring or it's just what's popped up as they burn them over the years, but you've got these palmetto bushes underneath. So you'll get pines, palmettos. If you're in the kind of mud muck, you'll get palm trees and palmettos. And if it's actual water, like along a creek or in a cypress dome or anywhere there's actual water, you'll get cypress trees. And those, they almost go in areas like they'll stop here and just start cypress, and then they'll get back out of that and palm, and then they go to pine. I've seen that all the way from the beginning. And you always have these palm trees underneath. I know they're naturally occurring, but I think they actually grow up like this so thick because they burn this off, and it gives them a chance to take over. So that's my guess. I don't know what Florida looked like really, if anybody knows anymore, prior to these trees are all cultivated. They're probably cut down every few years and sold. The government owns it. Paper stuff. It might be a contract for a paper plant. That's how it usually works. But some of these trees, that one's pretty good size. A lot of them are smaller. And that means they're young and they just popped up the last 20 years. So you can see that all these trees are kind of the same size. So it's a forest, but it's kind of a it's a shell game. It's a forest that is not truly its original state, but at least they're protecting it to some degree. You see this throughout the South. There really are very few forests left that are original to you know, pre-1900. Everything's been cut and sold, and cut and sold, cut and sold, and continues to be cut and sold. So I don't know the story on this particular wildlife management area. They may not do that anymore, but a lot of them are that way. All right, enough talking. North Gate, how do you say it? Tosohatchee. Hey guys, it's about 5:45. Sun is going to be completely down in about 20 minutes, almost exactly. I'm trying to get to my camp. It was 7 miles, but there was a Blue Blaze Trail. The blue trails on the map are still officially part of the Florida Trail, but other options you could take to see different things, or if the water's too high on the main one, you can take sometimes a shortcut. This is going to get me into camp sooner, I think. Here's where that creek comes out of town. And I'm noticing it's got foam in it and stuff, so that's why I was like, I'm not going to drink it. Although down below it looks nice and cleaned out. I don't know. But it doesn't smell good. So I don't know if this is treated sewer water. That would suck if they ruined even this, but I can't read that from here. Anyway, so I got a few minutes before the sun goes down. I thought I'd let you hike with me. Won't ramble so much. Just gonna hike in about there's a sort of a dinosaur. This is a cool picture. I should have wished I had my camera. I'm using this live video. I don't know if I can take a picture. Let me see. I don't think I can. Maybe. Nope. 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 So, you're getting the live one. I don't know what's up on that plateau. I love those dead trees, though. All right, so this is the alternate route, which is more of a straight shot, at least the beginning here on this old foot road here. Maybe it's a railroad trestle. I love these old kind of simple straight roads like this in the woods. Look at that, man. Jurassic Park. There's some big old trees in there. That is where I would be walking, which I'm sure the trail's fine, but it just winds in and out and you're going over roots and it's going to take longer. And I've already been doing that all day. I've seen a lot of that, so I don't feel guilty about using the Blue Blaze in certain times when you're trying to get into camp. You've already seen it all. It's all the same. And sometimes they take longer, but in this case, I think it's going to save me a little time just because it's a straight road. So I will use one trekking pole and hold this camera for a few minutes until the lights go on. Really does look like Jurassic Park in here. Perfect scene for raptors to come bounding out. There's a really nice sunset going on out there, but I can't quite see it. It's behind those trees. This is my typical hiking pace. If everything's all right and I'm feeling okay and feet are okay. This is an easy trail, so try to go a little quicker here. This is where I wish I had my gimbal with me to steady this camera scene for everybody. But the creek's drying up. Old Florida right there, man. That's kind of cool. Looks like we got about maybe 15. Used to be afraid of rushing into camp before the sun goes down, afraid to be out here. That was even less, I don't know, about a week ago. And then I just hiked through it one night and set up in the dark, and it's like, what am I afraid of? There's really nothing out here. I mean, there's some bears, I guess, but bears don't bother you. So we're doing the last couple of miles here, Rayanne. Trying to get to camp. It'll be 20 for today. I went into Christmas to charge my phone. Stopped at that first little grocery. The owner was awesome. Let me charge the phone. Got a burger. So we're somewhere around, I think 18 miles right now. Not too bad with a heavy pack like this, man. It's too heavy, but I'm gonna eat that food up and it'll be fine. So this is the Blue Blaze shortcut. Knows all about that, right? This is the Blue Blaze to fern camp. I don't know what mile it is exactly. I can't look right now, but I know I'm going to be coming in the dark anyway, but this might get me there quicker. And I've already seen plenty of the swampy woods, so this is a little time saving because it's so easy to walk, and I don't mind that at all. Just give a pay in here for a second. So I haven't done a lot of night hiking. Like I was saying, I don't know, I'm not afraid's the wrong word, just nervous about it. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Now I don't care. I'm thinking, who cares? First thing that happened is you go through that swamp at the beginning and you don't fear animals anymore because you've literally been in swamp gator snake world for 3 or 4 days with them right next to you. I know they were right there. You just, walked right by them. Saw a couple of things, but eventually you realize, well, yeah, they don't really want to hurt you unless you walk right on them. There's supposed to be a lot of bears in Big Cypress. I never saw one. Supposed to be a lot of bears out here. I talked to a guy on the way in here today. I've never seen a bear yet. I'm sure I will at some point, but the only time I've seen a bear out in Florida hiking is they were running the other way. So just not going to worry about it. Put on the headlamp and go. Got to start catching up to my 20-mile goal now that my feet are more or less together. How was the run today? It's a nice sunset if I can get just a sort of a picture or a look at it here. There's a little road. There we go. Oh, this is the floodplain they're always talking about that I did not hike through. Oh yeah, look at this. Simba. Wow, I should have got my camera out for this. There you go. From Jurassic Park jungle up on the plains here. Beautiful night. I don't know if you can see way over in the distance. Do I get zoom on this? Yeah. Right there, that white stuff is birds. Those storks or whatever they are, cranes. They nest right about this time of night. Make a huge sound too. Oops, wrong way. So they're way over there. Very cool. I gotta turn this off for a second and get a picture of that. That's pretty glorious right there. Wish I had a really good camera. This iPhone 11 Pro is really good for a phone, but that's like a painting. This is pretty amazing looking. Look at that. There's those birds making all kinds of sounds over there. All right. Heading back into the jungle. So the only bad part about today was my feet got wet immediately. We've kind of been wet all day, which is causing a little bit of a blister issue, I think. We'll see when we get to camp. But what is that? Never heard that bird. Cool, look at that fire on the sky. It's so cool. Right now is when I like to be sitting up my tent, you know, getting things ready. Maybe have a cup of coffee and just kind of sit for a few minutes before the sun goes down. But some nights you can't do that. You have to just keep pushing. There was a camp back there I could have stopped at around 4:30, which would have been a decent day, about 15, 16 miles. But I wanted to get to this camp, and I had it in my mind to get there. And I've been taking shortcuts. Well, not shortcuts, but just taking easier days a lot. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to push it again. I've been pushing more. All right, what do we got here? Been pushing more recently because I want to get caught up here. I'm kind of behind. And so my last 3 hiking days, I've done either somewhere between 19 and 21 miles. So that's pretty cool. I hadn't broken that 20-mile mark prior to that. And seems like I get a reset every week and a half or so. And get a certain section done, take a 0, kind of got to recuperate and reevaluate what I'm carrying or what I'm going to do. And in the meantime as well, your body has been getting more and more strong. Gets beat up, but it's still getting stronger. I hope this trail isn't crap in the dark. That's what I hope. And you just get little inch by inch, you're getting better and more efficient physically. And I've lost quite a bit of weight too. I think I've lost at least 10 pounds, possibly more. And it's all just belly fat, you know, and I think what Rand was talking about and others have told me about is hiker hunger. Somewhere around 14 to 21 days, you start really just being ravenously hungry. And that has not happened to me. I'm always hungry. I mean, I always eat a lot, usually. When I'm hiking, blue. Why is this white? Hang on. Well, we're gonna call it here for tonight. I don't want to miss my trail. Anyway, hope that was a cool sunset for you guys. Right back there. I'll see you tomorrow morning. About 5 miles from the camp I want to hit to get 20 miles. Got delayed in Christmas a little bit charging my phone. Gonna cross into another section here. These are kind of cool, where you can walk up, step over that. You kind of just step over in this fashion, you know, right to left. That way your pack stays centered. Believe it or not, it's a little tricky with your pack on to do these. So I don't know what's coming up in there, but I'm trying to get this done. Get to this camp before dark. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think we're gonna end up doing a bit of night hiking because I'm not camping out here in the wet. This is all pretty wet. Could be done. It's fine, but I don't really want to. So 5 miles to go. We made it. This is gonna kill my battery, but I'm gonna film this. So this is my, dang it, my wrist over here. I gotta go over this thing. I'm always afraid I'm gonna fall right when I get the camera in my hand, but just show you what it's like, I guess. We're just going up these. You grab this. And it seems easy, but you got 30 pounds on your back. You can't go left or right. You kind of have to stay straight. There we go, over that. Get the pole out of the way. And this camera's got a light on, but I'm gonna have to turn on my, oh, shoot, I got caught on that barbed wire. Hope I didn't turn my pack. I'm gonna have to, oh boy, bugs are coming out. Here we go. We're gonna turn this light on, I think. Give us a little light. It's not quite dark, I can still kind of see, but night hiking. Now this gives you, I can turn off this light on the camera. Yeah, we'll just use them both. Hopefully this kind of, you can see this. That's pretty good lighting. Got the phone and the headlamp. Headlamp is got a stronger setting, but it sucks the battery really quick. So I'm kind of going on half lens here, but I couldn't see those bugs until that camera came on. You can really see them. So I found the connector trail. We did the shortcut. We got a good sunset. I got some pictures of that. I think I got some video too. I did a Facebook live feed. I don't know. Great pictures though. I have to see if I can pull some of those Facebook live feeds down so I can stick them in a YouTube channel, but I don't know if you can do that or not. So it's almost dark, but I don't know. After you hike 300 miles, you don't care anymore about hiking in the dark. I don't really think anything's going to bother you. You just want to be able to see the trail so you don't step on a snake if you happen to be laying in the trail, which has never really happened except in Big Cypress. And these animals hear you coming miles away, and they don't want nothing to do with you, to be honest. I think the only thing that could possibly happen is if you're foolish and left a lot of food smelling absolutely delicious right next to your tent, wide open, tuna fish or something, you're going to have some kind of animals coming after that. But probably not going to be bears, but it could be. More likely going to be mice and raccoons. But you never know, so you want to be careful with that. Thinking about night hiking, you want to be able to see that blaze. I can see it. I don't know if you can, but there it is. Yeah, worst case scenario, I mean, think about it. I could set my tent anywhere in here. It's very doable. I'm hearing things over there. I don't know what they are. We're just going to keep moving. It's probably squirrels. So yeah, end of a long day. My feet are hurting, and I think I got a good blister going again. And I know that's because my feet were wet all day. I really should have stopped and taken off my shoes and let them dry out, but there was no sun until around 12:30 or 1 o'clock. And then I was walking. I'm like, yeah, I'll just let them dry out as I walk. But I think you really need to stop and let them dry out, air out. Otherwise, you end up with some blisters. So, all right, we're gonna hike into camp. It should be here somewhere, but we don't want it to film too long. I'll fill up my phone. All right, guys. Have a good night. Let's see, block my, that's the phone light. That's my light. That's decent enough. On we go. Just about 5 o'clock, so we're gonna be in the dark here in a minute. About an hour. All right, we'll do one more. We made it to Fern Camp. It was just around the corner. So we're gonna camp here tonight. It says permit required, but I don't think that counts for through hikers. I think we can, I mean, what are we supposed to do? You know, we gotta camp somewhere. So you just camp as best you can, leave no trace. In and out. Just gonna be sleeping here. I don't see any firewood of any kind, so I don't know, maybe in the morning we'll find some, make some coffee. That's all I'm concerned about, but got mosquitoes coming out, I can hear them, so good night from Fern Camp. This hiker eat for breakfast? Well, when you've only got a half a liter of water left. Hang on, what's this? I got a bite. You just eat. You put a energy drink powder in your water. Some Ritz crackers, Snickers, Cliff Bar, and I'm going to carry this trail mix in my pocket. That's basically breakfast right there. That's enough to get out of camp, get going, no water needed. Next water source is about 10 miles down the road, it looks like. So that'll keep me hydrated enough to get there. Then we can stop and maybe make an actual, something with water in it. Oatmeal or couscous or something else. Yep, 5:30 in the morning, headed out. There's the tent, getting ready to break it down. 17 miles. Good morning. Leaving Fern Camp. It's a primitive site up here. I think we're just about to hit the Orlando outer laying urban areas. Past Christmas, Florida. Coming up on a small town, I can't remember what it's called, Oviedo, something like that. I'll look it up on the map. But this is a really nice, pretty morning walk. Look at this. We came out of the jungly stuff we were in just 5 minutes ago. When I left camp, it turned into this. I like this stuff better, personally. But we're gonna do 17 miles today. It's gonna start getting difficult in this area, looks like, to find campsites because we're heading into areas that have been urbanized, and even says on the Gut Hook app that the trail through, I think it's, what is it, Lake Mary, coming up soon. 20 years ago, which is not that long ago, I moved here 20 years ago to Florida. 20 years ago was a trail through the woods, and now it's a main street past a mall. So, I mean, it's going to be hard to find campsites. There aren't any there. I think there's one they've been able to preserve secretly for hikers, and that's the one after the one I'm headed to today. So today we're headed towards the one that's 17 miles, and that's right before town. And then I think it's another 13 or 17 to shoot across town and get to that one little safety zone, and then head out from there. And I mean, I guess you could stay at a hotel, but it's like, if they have one. But you gotta also preserve your money, conserve your money, because it goes quick out here if you're staying in hotels 2 or 3 times a week, or even once a week. I've stayed in too many hotels, actually, but I had to. And that's what happens. You want to have your reserves there in case a terrible storm comes through, or hurt yourself, or just need a break. And then you don't want to have burned that all up just staying in hotels, If the trail was like this, most of it, I don't think anybody would stay in a hotel, This is a nice little walk through the woods here, and we're going to head back into the deep stuff there, I see. But a lot of this the Florida Trail, at least so far, has been road walking, and kind of hard to find a spot to camp at the beginning part of it anyway, the first 200 miles. It's getting better. It is definitely getting better. So I would encourage everybody that I'm going to have a review of this whole trail when I get done. And if you watch some of these videos, you'll see that I'm not super positive on it. But then you get moments like this. And I know I'm only 5 miles from a city. That's what's really sad about Florida, is that it really has been completely overrun with city. And these are just pockets that are left. And it's kind of a symbolic of our whole country. It's getting eaten up by concrete and Walmarts. But while we have it, 100 years from now, this is all going to be gone, I'm sure. So I'm a little bit negative on the trail, but some of that is my own personal bias. I already hike Florida a lot. I don't love swamp. Just sick of hiking in wet swamp muck. So that's why I like these more open trails. It reminds me more of a forest. But so that's kind of a bias I have. So take that into consideration, because I live in Florida. This is my first through hike. So it takes you 300 miles. I would say almost on the dot. For me, for my feet, to blister, tear, blister again, blister, tear, heal, and finally heal up to where they don't blister anymore. 300 miles. where I can walk 20 miles a day once. So that first section was pretty miserable for a lot of reasons. And also the first section of Florida Trail is not a trail. It's just roads and concrete and pretty terrible stuff, I think. Now, if you're a veteran thru hiker and you walked other trails that are all road walking, maybe it's like, yeah, I don't know what you're complaining about. So everybody's different, you know, everybody's got a different perspective, different experience, different reason they're doing it. I do know that that first 200 miles really beat up everybody's feet, because I saw them all as we hiked it together, sitting in RV camps, looking at our feet wrapped up and unable to hobble over to the shower. So it was pretty tough, but it's getting better. Look at that. That's a great picture. I'll stop right there. It's getting better, and I'm looking forward to Ocala, which is coming up soon. Getting close to the center of Florida, I can tell. Really, we're at the center as far as east to west. It's getting a lot like where I live and hike out in Brooksville area on the west area of the west coast, but a lot of the sand and a little bit of elevation. I mean, for Florida, there's sort of a hill. It's drying out a little bit. There's nice areas like this. I hike this kind of stuff all the time. It's much better than the southern part. So bottom line, first 300 miles suck. There are some moments in there, some gems, some areas that are nice. A lot of it sucks. A lot of road walking, a lot of swamp, a lot of muck, a lot of just canals and cow fields, and not much. There's a few, I'm not saying it's not, there aren't some beautiful spots in there, there are, but I think we're getting more to a consistent trail, which is kind of nice. And that's what I've heard. First 200-300 miles is like that. It's all the road walking. Definitely Okeechobee south is so north of Okeechobee Lake south is pretty although I did have a nice evening out there once, so I got a few pictures. Nice. Oh, we're heading into the kind of the drier stuff here. I like it. Hey guys, you can tell I'm just waking up. I look like a bearded mountain man. Where am I? That's my tent. I just came out of that. All right, gotta go. Now this is they call it the Econ Forest. I think it's called the Little Big Econ State Forest. It's I think it's just northeast of Orlando. So for some reason I thought we walked through Orlando, but I guess we don't. So I'm already north of Orlando as far as north to south in the state. Gonna hit mile 400 today or tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow morning. Walking through Lake Mary tomorrow morning, I think. And I'm kind of getting a late start. I usually start at sunrise. I'm out of here, but I'm having trouble with my feet again. It's killing me. These blisters are coming back. The bottom of my foot is, I feel like it's been pounded by a hammer in one spot. I can barely touch it. And so that started after I left Cocoa. Or before that, I didn't have any of that. Blisters had been going down. Everything was healed. I took 2 days off in Cocoa to recuperate, just to kind of get laundry done and all that, and got going on the trail the next day, and by the end of the day it was starting to hurt. Next day it was bad, and by the time I crawled in here last night I couldn't walk. So I think what it is my shoes. I have a pair of Asics running shoes that I just usually wear always. I think I bought 15 pairs of these things over the years, just buy the same shoe every year. They're great shoes, but they're not great for this, I guess. So 2 reasons. One, a lot of guys use trail runners, and that's kind of a hybrid between running and just a souped up running shoe, but also it has a wider toe box and your feet don't get this constricted thing. So if you look at my shoe, that, let me throw it here. Well, what do you do with them? I mean, they're getting worn out and dirty anyway. Most people say you replace your shoes about every 500 miles out here. I'm already wearing these down, and I think what's happened is this has worn it thin here. Inside, it got compressed, and that spot right there, you can see darker, is crushing my foot. So I ordered a new pair. But anyway, the reason I get a new pair is because if you see, this is a good running shoe. But the box, the toe box, basically fits your foot. And I think because you're usually not in a running shoe, A, not on a road, B, for 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, pounding that thing into the ground. So your foot has to spread more, and also I think your feet swell. So what I'm figuring out is a lot of thru hikers. I read this too, and the problem is that I ordered a new set of these. I got a second pair of these sitting at home, brand new. I'm not going to use them out here. I'll just keep them for regular use and running. But a lot of thru hikers will order a trail runner, which is, like I said, it's got a lot of good grip on the bottom. This doesn't. This is kind of more for road. You don't really need a lot of grip in Florida, I don't think. Maybe in certain sections, but Florida's this. I mean, Florida's sand and flat stuff. So it's not like you need to worry about, if you're up in Alabama or out west or something where you're going up a hill with rocks and coming down with rocks and you need to get some grip. I haven't ever, and I've hiked a lot of Florida, I've never really needed any of that. I think you could hike with a sole that's completely flat almost, no grip. But you do need cushion because it compresses quickly out here, and that's, I think, what's happened. I think that the insoles, what I'm trying to say, has failed. It's compressed and it just doesn't come back. So I'm literally walking on the ground, and it's bruising this area of my foot right here. I can't even hardly touch that. Now I gotta walk 13 miles on this today to get out of here. This part's okay, bam, right there. So what a lot of trail guys do, they'll order a trail runner shoe. Ultra is a company that's an ultra running company. They make running shoes for trails. And the one everybody uses is the Lone Peak, it's called, as a model. And there's another model called the Olympus, and that one's a little bit more, if I understand it right, it's a little bit more hardcore, sturdy built. It's a little tougher, and I don't know if it's more cushiony, but I think it is. Anyway, I had a guy, a friend of mine out here that I met. He's using those, and he recommended those for me. So I'm going to get the Olympus. I've ordered the Olympus 4, which is an damn expensive shoe. I didn't want to spend the money, but at the same time, I'm crippled. So it's like, what's the point of doing this? And I've already, this is like a lottery or a gambling poker game, because you're like, I'm already in so far. Do I just stop spending, or do I? No, I've already spent so much. I got to get this done, so I'll spend a little more to get it done. So this is what I would call the shakedown hike. I know that next time I do this, hang on. Next time I do this, and I've got some other trails I'm thinking of already, but I know what to do now, or I'm getting there. And all of the things that everybody says in the videos on YouTube and recommendations and stuff. I met a guy out here, his trail name is Long Hauler, and he said this, and this is it. He's like, I'm just the kind of person, I just, whatever everybody else is doing, I'm going to do it my way. I'm kind of that way too. It's like, okay, everybody's using this shoe, well, I can do it with a running shoe, why not? I run on them, I hike on them locally and do through little sections, 2 or 3 days out around the Withlacoochee State Forest. I never have any other shoe, never have a problem.
I'm sure these people are just exaggerating. No. There's a reason they use trail runners. There's a reason they use ultras. There's a reason they use that tent and lighter tents instead of the $90 heavier tent. Because that tent weighs less than 2 pounds and it's got enough room in there for 2 people. Very light. It's awesome. Sets up quickly. The one I had before was cheaper by a couple $100, and I got some use out of it. It weighed 5 pounds, and I had no room in there. I couldn't move. I couldn't move my arms to the side at all. So that saved me 3 pounds. I mean, in pounds and weight this is a game out here of weight, how much everything weighs. Now I knew that already, and I've really improved from the first time I did a hike of a section which was out west in the Gila Wilderness, and a gorgeous place I want to redo now that I know kind of how to hike better. But I went in there with close to 60 pounds in my pack, and that was in this stupid little Osprey pack, which is only supposed to carry 35 pounds at the most. I had so much stuff strapped to there. I had boots hanging off, I had extra pairs of shoes, I had extra clothes, I had extra food, and all the food was heavy. It was like bags of almonds and apples, and just everything I did was wrong. Even though I researched it and thought I had trimmed it down as far as it could go. And it still was wrong. So what happened is it was miserable, and you just want to get out of there. I was taking every step like I was carrying bags of concrete, you know, and I did it. The thing about it is I can physically do it. I have a pretty strong willpower once I'm into a physical chore. You know, I can mow lawns in the Florida sun for 14 hours a day, every day. And that's kind of brutal. I can do that stuff. I can get out here, and once I get going, even if you're in pain, you just go until you don't need to go. But that's not fun either. That's not enjoyable. That's not why you're doing this. And you get injured. So, and it's painful. So this time, at this point, I'm at mile 370 or so. Like I said, tomorrow will be mile 400. That's 400 miles from the start in Big Cypress Swamp in the Everglades. I ordered the shoes last night. Gonna have Amanda, my daughter, bring them out. Hopefully tomorrow, if they come today. If they don't, they're gonna come on Monday. Oh, it's gonna suck. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because I'm getting to the point today, I don't know if I can walk. So, and it kind of sprung up on me. I didn't expect this. I was feeling great with my feet. But yeah, it's a game of weight. Every ounce counts, sort of. That's another thing that I've been resistant against. They got all these guys, you know, weighing their toothbrush and cutting the handle off, and weighing their underwear and weighing the. It's like, all right, let's not get ridiculous, right? I mean, yeah, everything weighs something, but are you really going to weigh your underwear? Well, you have to, in a way. And I know that I'm going to have to redo all this. If I could start over again, I know pretty much what I would do. And what it is what everybody else does, pretty much. You have to kind of buy and it's money. You have to buy the very light professional hiking gear. And the lighter you go, the more expensive it gets. Which is stupid, but that's what it is. So if you want to buy a real tent like that sets up in 2 minutes, that is 2 pounds, including the stakes and everything, and that's a 2-man tent. It's twice the size of the other tent, has 2 doors on it, a lot better ventilation. You want to buy that tent, it's going to be $400, $304. If you want to buy the one that's 1-man, heavier materials, would work for an overnight or whatever, it's $85. So you start with, I'm going to buy the 85 and I'm going to make it work. And you just can't do it if you do it out here longer than a week or two. It just becomes so heavy. And that's, I think, where I'm getting my feet hurt too, is that I'm carrying too much weight. I know that Rayanne, somebody I met, helped me out, through hiker, said that. You know, I know I'm carrying too much weight. It's like, what do I do to get rid of this weight? Well, you have to spend money. And I've already spent a lot of money. I don't even know how much money. If you really count from when did you start buying gear to do this trip, When did you rebuy gear because you got the wrong gear? When did you go to a hotel? It's a couple $1,000s or more already, you know, just to get out here. I don't mind that. I saved for it, but you also don't want to be blowing it, right? So I tried to use the shoes I had. They got me 300 and something miles and a lot of pain. It's been pain every day. Every step has been pain, except for a day or two. That's pretty terrible. So I just came in here last night. I said, all right, that's it. I'm ordering these shoes or I'm going home because I'm not going to limp in agony for 1,200 miles and then go, yeah, I did it. That's not the point of this. You know, you also want to have, you know, a day where you don't have any pain, if possible. So those shoes are coming. I'm excited about that and hope those are going to work. I don't have time to go into an REI or a other store and test them and try the right shoe. And it's like, I don't have time. I'm going to order it off of Amazon. Through Hikers have told me that they recommend ordering a size bigger than you normally wear. I have a 13 foot, so 13 wide. So I ordered a 14. I hope that's not going to be too big, but I don't think too big is going to be a problem. I think too small would be a problem. So those are going to be a relief, I think, to my feet. The other thing I need to do, again, more money. If this was unlimited funds right now, I know exactly what I would do. This bag is awesome. This is a 0 degree down Kelty bag. Kelty's the company with this some kind of miracle wool or some kind of internal down. I don't know. It's a great sleeping bag. Very warm, awesome, but it's heavier than what I need because it's 0 degrees. I don't need something that goes down to 0 degrees. I need something that goes down to about 20 degrees, and the other one I have is down to 35 degrees. So I was freezing cold. It's like either I use the 35 and freeze to death, or I use the 0 degree and I carry around a bag that I don't need 9 out of 10 days out here because Florida's hot, right? But when it's hot, like last night, you just sleep on top of it. But it's also more weight. It's more weight. It's more. Look at this. This whole thing is air. It puffs up, and it's hard to pack in the bag. It's more It's just irritating. That's the other thing. I started with the stove. I've already gotten rid of that. Learning how to kind of just eat cold foods. And actually, I kept the pot. I don't know where it is, but I kept it. It's right here, titanium pot. That is part of the stove system, but I just use that, and when I can, I do a little fire. Like last night, I was able to start a fire here at this camp. You can boil water in 10 seconds, have some hot coffee, I made hot food, and then you don't have to carry a stove. The rest of the time, I just don't have hot stuff for a couple of days until you get into a town. It's really not that big a deal. So that I'm glad I changed. I have a lot of clothing. And that's because this is a tricky time of year in Florida, and that's when you got to do the trail because it's too hot and buggy. It's miserable, you know, after March, really. If you're in Florida in April, it's already getting black flies and thunderstorms and all that. And but even in the wintertime, it's 80 degrees. Yesterday at 9 o'clock in my tent, it was 80 degrees outside. And a week before that, it was 30. So what bag do you carry? You know, what sleeping bag do you carry? It's hard to get the right one. I think the 20 degree is probably the best option because, and probably I'd get a 20 degree quilt, which is light. Quilt is just a sleeping bag without a zipper, basically, and you can, that's how I use my sleeping bag anyway. I open it up and use it like a blanket most of the time. If it gets really cold, you can zip this thing up and it's a mummy bag, and it's great, but I don't like sleeping in that anyway, and I hardly ever use it. So 20 degree bag would be the next purchase, but it's another $400 or whatever. No, not doing that. And then so I'm carrying clothes, and I'm having to carry clothes for warm weather, you know, shorts and shirts you're wearing, and an extra shirt and socks and all that. But then you also got to carry something for the cold because it turns cold fast. And if you're going to be hiking, you can't be in your sleeping bag all day. You know, you have to get up and go. So I have cold weather clothes, heavier. They're even lightweight hiking clothes, but still, you have to carry 2 sets of clothes. Anyway. I gotta say one last thing that I love. This is like a thing that nobody carries, I'm sure. And Adam gave me this. I met Adam in the swamps. We hiked together. Adam's awesome. And he was just doing like that section. I'm looking for my shoe. Hang on a second. Here it is. He was just doing the swamp section, that 30-mile hike there, and then he went home. And he sold me this piece of gear. And I said, let me buy that off you, because it's a perfect for this. It's just a little water bag. It's made by Sea to Summit, like a nylon bag. This thing has come in so handy because you can use it for camp water. You've just got, if you had you could, for example, I grabbed this from the river. You can't drink from this river. You can't drink from anything in Florida. It's terrible. The water situation in Florida is vile. But this is off a tributary of the river, so it's not the actual river. It's coming into the river, so it's a little cleaner. Where you can grab it, and then filter it with some kind of filtering. I use this Sawyer Squeeze, which is another change. I had a huge water filter that was awesome by Cat and I, and completely impossible to carry around. It weighed like 3 pounds. It's metal, and I knew it was too heavy, but I thought I'd try it. It's what I had. It was very expensive to buy originally because I didn't know what I was buying. So when Adam left the swamp, I bought that Sawyer Squeeze from him, and I bought this. And this thing folds up into something about that big, in a little bag about that big. And then when you get into camp, if you have a water source, you run down to the river, grab this, fill that up, and then you could just, I don't know how, I like the way they designed it. You just tip it, pour it into a bottle, and filter it. Or pour it into a cup and stick it in the fire and boil it. And so you've got 2 gallons of water right here. That's probably a gallon. And then grab a couple bottles while you're down there, so you can bring plenty of water with you if you want to use it to filter drinking water and make coffee and all that. So I did that last night. It was awesome. That's just a little extra, and that literally weighs nothing. I don't know, even maybe an ounce. It's great. It's a great design. I don't know why I like it so much. I got a pillow finally. This is a pillow that inflates up. Changed my life. That was the other part of it. The first part of the trip, first 150 miles, I could not sleep at all. I was sleeping with that clothes bag, this blue thing. It's my clothes with stuff sack, and I was using that as a pillow. I've done that hiking a lot. Well, you can't do it every night because eventually you can't sleep. And I was trying to learn how to sleep on this air mattress, which is not great for comfort. Couldn't sleep at all. So I ordered the pillow like everybody else, and that changed. So all these little things cost money, and you have to figure out what you want to take and what you don't want to take. Some people don't use a pillow. That's why I normally didn't, but this has helped me sleep, which is important. You got to sleep to get up and do this every day. It's 8-hour day minimum of hiking. And normally, like I said, I'm out of here way before the sun comes up, but I'm resting a little bit today. I've got 13 instead of 20, and who knows? I might even stop before then. We'll see. I'm walking through town, though, so I don't know if I can stop. Anyway, that's my daily update. Econ State Forest. It's really nice in here. It's run by the Forest Service. And I guess there's a lot of bears in here, and coming up there's going to be a lot of bears. Ocala is coming up soon. I'm looking forward to seeing this section going forward because I've never been over here. I've driven and hiked all over Florida. Lived here forever. Never been in this section. Never knew about it. Never really looked at Orlando side. I was always just hiking that side over there by Tampa. And so we're going to see some things I haven't ever been into, which is going to be nice. Although I gotta say, Florida looks the same from top to bottom. It's not different. This is the same as where I live, so I mean it's all the same. But it's nice to see new areas. All right, guys, have a great morning, have a great day. Get to the woods, do it.
Morning, Friday, February 12th. Headed into Oviedo, and then Lake Mary. Just sort of north of Orlando, I think. Or right around that area. It's a pretty nice little morning. We're gonna be, only got 13 miles today to the next camp. Ordered some, feet are killing me, my feet are still giving me problems, so kind of weird. They were really bad for 200 miles, 250. Calluses finally formed, everything kind of settled in. I did that 30-mile road walk. Didn't feel great, but I took a day off in Cocoa and it seemed fine. You know, I didn't have any blisters. I didn't have any really terrible spots. And then actually took 2 days there, did laundry, did videos and stuff. And then came back out, and by the end of that day, which was 3 days ago, blisters started forming again on the outside 2 toes. And the center of the front of my foot can't even touch it with my finger. So right now I'm walking, but it's basically numb with pain. So I've got to keep moving. I can't just live it in that little camp. So I went ahead and I determined that it's got to be my shoes. And I know there's a lot of videos on shoes and hiking and all that. All I can say is that when people say, hey, you need to be wearing trail runners, they have plenty of room in the box, the toe box, the front of the shoe. That is absolutely true. I've got a good pair of running shoes, Asics, really great running shoes. I've bought them over and over for, man, 8-9 years. I've had probably 15 pairs of these shoes. I love them. Running them, fantastic. Never get a blister. Feels like you have slippers on almost. This, no way. It's only at 350, 360 miles here, and I've had nothing but hell every day. Every step is pain. So I think initially I thought it was, okay, where are we? Initially I thought it was me, out of shape and all that. And that was partially true. You had to get your muscles built up, feet ready. Then I thought it was water on my feet, which is probably true too. But at this point, especially because I've had several days where I've had no pain, I think it's my shoes. So I ordered some Olympus from Ultra. They're trail runner. I'm gonna try those. I got a friend out here who recommended that. So same as the Lone Peak kind of thing. All right, we're gonna go into town now in a minute. You guys have a great day. All right, so we're walking through Orlando. Well, actually it's heading towards Lake Mary, Florida, around the Orlando area. Been walking on the Seminole Trail, bike trail here for 4 hours, man. Feet are killing me. Got a little bit to go, but I just want to show you a little bit of what it looks like. It's a good way to walk through town, I guess, you know, better than walking on that road. It is extremely boring and hard on your feet, but that's what we're doing. I think we turn off here in a mile or so and head to an actual camp in the woods here tonight. Hopefully in a couple of miles.
Hey, good morning, guys. I want to do a quick update. As you can see, there's been some changes. Just got rid of that beard. It was driving me crazy. I know I'm supposed to commit to 3-4 months of having a beard, but it'll come back. Trust me. And the reason I had time to do that is I came in from the trail. So I was in Orlando hiking on the Seminole Trail, just walking on that bike path, and my feet have just been hurting so bad that I can't get down the road. So still was doing 15 to 20 miles a day. And honestly, by now I should be able to do that, you know, physically, muscle-wise, aerobically, it's not a problem at all, actually. I can push all day and feel great. But my feet are seriously blistered on the outside 2 toes. I got a blister right in the middle of the pad on one of my feet. So just in agony for hundreds of miles, and I'm not going to keep doing that. So I determined that it's not just beginner's feet anymore. It is definitely my shoes. So I have ordered a new pair of shoes, and they're going to be coming in Monday or Tuesday. It's Sunday right now, so I ordered a couple other things. I also am going to change out my backpack because it's starting to fall apart, and it's just not, it's too heavy. I'm starting to figure out what works and what doesn't work. Unfortunately, this stuff costs money. You have to keep, you know, buying or rebuying things. And I have a certain amount put aside that's sliding out of my fingers, which I hate that because I have a few months to go before I can work. And I never know what my work will be, whether it will be or not. It's insurance adjusting, and, you know, we rely on the weather and storms and events to happen. So that usually does happen, and I'm thinking it will, but, you know, until then, I don't know exactly how it's going to play out. So I'm trying not to spend money, and that's why I've been using these shoes that I've had, which are very good running shoes, but they're not capable of doing what we do out there through hiking. So I ordered some Ultra, running company Ultra Olympus, which is their heavier cushioned, heavier duty trail runner. So I'm hoping that'll help me. And I also ordered a Sierra Designs flex capacitor pack, which I've wanted to get for a while, which is a really cool pack. I'm hoping it'll be what I think it is. Lighter, a lot more space, a lot less stuff to break on it. Really kind of innovative way of design. So when I get that and I get time, I'll do some reviews on that, videos and stuff on all my things that I'm figuring out. But in the resting position here for a day or two, probably 2 or 3. Hate to do that because I'm already behind from the other times off the trail, but I guess this is what it is. People call this the shakedown hike, and that's kind of what it is. You start out thinking this and trying that and this and that, and I know that takes a lot of people off the trail because of money and just pain, and so I'm trying to get through this, guys. I'm trying to make this happen to complete. If it doesn't complete, I'm not going to put myself down to $0. I'm going to have to stop at some point and maybe reassess for next year, but this will be my last financial purchases for this hike, come hell or high water. And if it doesn't work, I'll just have to reset for next year. But we're gonna give it another shot come next week. Thank you for watching the videos. Also, just want you to know that I'm not really able to get every video up in order because of the way just phone storage. I'm trying to get videos back and forth to edit and keep your phone clear enough to take more videos and all that internet issues. And so I'm thinking more videos when I'm completely done with the hike and have time to really edit this at home. But I'm trying to get it up there, pieces up there to kind of show you what's going on as I go through it, best I can. So thanks for putting up with it, and I hope you enjoy the channel, and hang in there, we'll get some more stuff. See you out there.